Gonna be Parasite getting hit with a stun lock, but Chillpills in the opener. Ashes checking out that unholy Death Knight, dropping in the big A-bomb versus Parasite as the man backing up out of there. Does end up spawning in a demon, slaying it fairly quickly. Picking up the demonic soul as well, but is mostly looking to retreat away from the Death Knight, trying to see if he can leap right back over. Stun to follow. Does he have a big cleave? I think may have connected with that cleave, but that chain of ice is slowing down quite a bit. Either has to focus on fighting the pets the Chillpills has spawned in, or chasing after the Death Knight. It looks like he decided I'd rather be chased out of DK. Does slay the demon very, very quickly. That's going to help him recover a ton of health. Short stun on Chillpills. Big blade dancer follow, but he does go for the AMS, trying to reduce a lot of that chaotic damage out of Parasite as best as possible. Quick Hunt isn't really able to get a good go with Hunt around the corner. Chillpills now knows exactly what Parasite is trying to do. Could hit him with a chain of ice and play that ring around the rose around the pillar, but Parasite, seeing that whole army of the dead, just trying to see if he can shut him all out of it. That's what Chillpills is trying to charge out, trying to get the pets over in Parasite, but he's looking to avoid him entirely. Trying to limit as much damage from those pets as best as he can. Can he potentially get himself a big blade dance? And the Chillpills looks like he does connect with that Essence Break, but he can never get himself a proper go. Does end up kind of messing himself up with that Haunt, dropping himself down onto the pillar, onto the little, like, what do they call it, platform. As he went in for the Hunt, he isn't really able to get himself a proper go at all, though. AMS up for Chillpills right now. Darkness down for Parasite. Definitely needs himself a demonic proc at all. If he can get one, that'd be fantastic. Looks like focusing in on that ghoul instead. Chillpills does end up sacrificing one, maining a new one. Gonna be immunity for Parasite as soon as he gets hit with that stun. So he's actually able to avoid a lot of the damage to Chillpills, at least avoid a proper go from Chillpills. But the man does have himself the main pet empowered. That's also going to be the big abomination joining in. Parasite, as soon as he sees the main pet empowered, he's backing up out of it entirely. Slaying that demon, trying to go for the demonic soul. Can Chillpills keep him away from it, trying to lock him down with Chain of Ice. But it's going to be Parasite picking up the demonic soul. Does activate I-Beam. That's going to be full metamorphosis. Big blade dance to the Chillpills. Does he have a big Hunt to follow? Could potentially go for the big Hunt off of that. It looks like trying to see if he can bait maybe cooldowns to the Chillpills. Does go for the AMS in order to deny the damage from the Hunt. Trying to reduce the nature damage of that thing as best as possible. Parasite putting himself out in the open. Does get slammed down by the ghouls, by the pets, by the Valkyrie, who got himself a decent position, I think. But is going to end up despawning at the end of the day. Had himself a good spot for a moment. Parasite had no help whatsoever. Looks like the army of the undead is able to overpower him. Does go for Vengeful Retreat as the Execute comes out. Reduces the damage by quite a bit too. Actually, I think that Vengeful Retreat is what let him survive that Execute just now. Big I-Beam to follow. Stun locked by the main pet. Chillpills just sees a global to a couple of death goals back to back. Parasite no health and does end up bleeding out to the dots. That is super unfortunate. My goodness. GG Flex as the Survival Hunter going to be up next. Locking down Chillpills with a big Coordinated Assault. Trinkets out with a flank strike to follow. Got himself a lot of kill commands, or a lot of kill shots back to back with Chillpills. Trying to see if he can keep himself at a better distance versus Chillpills. Is going to go for the Spearhead. Use the Spearhead and Coordinated Assault just to stay aggressive with Chillpills. That's a lot of bleed damage on the Chills. Lots of extra bonus pressure. And Chillpills, I think at some point, if he can find a way to survive through the bleeds, he may be okay. Big stun to Flex. Does he get to overpower him with the army of the undead? I think may just have him. Flex does get himself a little bit of heal. Has a turn on the K6. Ever get rolled? That is going to be an Execute on Flex. You know, can Chillpills set up a proper Execute on Flex? Looks like he's just able to overpower me with the turtle. And I think maybe the disease is what got him. That is super, super unfortunate. Maybe still on Death and Decay, potentially. Fear out of Storm Lux with the Mind Games to follow. Chills does have an AMS for it, but I think the Mind Game still went through either way, though. Unless he was able to deny it with that AMZ. But I think it's still connected either way. Vamp is available for Storm Lux, was able to use it in order to keep himself alive. Silence and Chillpills. When a Death Knight silence, quite a good portion of your abilities is actually locked out. A lot of your diseases, a lot of your pet empowerments, a lot of your technically magical abilities are unavailable for use whenever you silence. Like your Interrupt, for example, is technically a spell. So there is quite a good portion of their abilities that are just locked whenever you get silenced. Storm trying to see if they could potentially maybe survive through the army of the undeads. The main ghoul getting sacrificed for Chillpills, summoning a fresh one either way. But that's going to be a full disperse for Storm. Expect a big go by Chillpills. Does get locked down and stun. Is going to go for a trinket. Flash shield for Storm as they get a little bit of recovery. AMS for Chillpills, so they have that perfect cover as they're able to approach Storm as they try to see if they can crack through a big shield. And finally is able to go for a proper stun, maybe a full set of dots. Mind Games, trying to go for a proper Mind Games, but Chill is trying to avoid him. The main pet, empowered. Stormlex is going to take a lot of damage from the main pet. You definitely need to do some damage to the main pet. Maybe even hit that thing with the Mind Games. Vamp Embrace is up for Stormlex. I can't wait until that ability is off of the global cooldown in 10 or 5 minutes. It's going to feel so nice. So much more of a reactionary ability. Stun onto Storm, maybe in a bit of trouble. Not a lot of defenses left. Can they escape the army of the undead? Does get himself a bit of a shield. As long as they have Power Ward Life, maybe he could use a Power Ward Life to escape from critical condition. Chilpas needs just a little bit more damage, put in the pressure. Does get the execute. My god, Death Knights with the executes, man. Reaping their souls is so strong. Chicago gonna be up next. Got themselves that Nether Drake, which looks absolutely fantastic. I feel like the Nether Drake is one of those drakes that can stand test of time, dude. Looking like a shark head over here, but it looks so good no matter the expansion. There are some like textures that are a little outdated, but it looks so good. Like the overall essence of it just looks fantastic. Triples does go for the IBF, trying to see if he can avoid the double stun. Massive double stun for the main pets. That could be really bad for him overall, though. That's going to be massive outside for Chicago. Got himself a lot of damage, massive wit strikes, but a blind is going to be able to disrupt him in between. Already tricking it, trying to keep the pets or at least triples away in that static totem. But looks like maybe the pets were able to ignore it. Triples with a death pack does give himself a little bit more survivability here, but cannot really heal right through it. Chicago has plenty of medicine to work with, only 32% dampening, so he's able to still recover a lot of health. As Chilpa's trying to see if he can just delay Chicago's goal for a little bit here, just trying to slow him down with a chain of ice. It's going to be dropping down the big A-bomb. That's a big root onto main pet though, which is super unfortunate, as Chilpa is trying to corral the entire army of undeads versus Chicago. Sunder, but Chicago is surrounded by the army of the dead. Do they have any survivability? Does have Ghost Raptors coming back up, but those double stuns could potentially make him super low in health. Does he have a silencer follow? Needs a heal right now, but oh, just absolutely surrounded by the entire army. There's only so much you can do in that situation. So far, the Death Knight has been able to hold his own, boys. Gonna be Triples trying to see if he can avoid BC for a little bit. Does have the Fel Lord back here, and is gonna have the gold chasing after BC. Does get interrupted and a lockdown by double pet. It's gonna be stoned to BC. Does Triples have himself a proper go? I think he may just have the whole Valkyrie, everything here. Got the full summon of the pets. You're just gonna keep BC locks over there with the army of the undead just absolutely surrounded with the mages of the dead doing work. It's a question of, do the pets of Beastly overpower Triples, or do the ghouls just end up taking down Beastly? Triples just absolutely been AFK out of that match entirely. Gonna be the A-bomb join in, but the A-bomb is attacking one of the demons of Beastly rather than Beastly himself. You can get Beastly low enough, you could potentially go for the big execute on him. Tyrant join in. That's a lot of pets chasing after Chill Pills. That's gonna be a big demon dog charging in with an axe toss, but Beastly does go down to the Valkyrie. Oh my god, no way! Chill Pills with a full Necromancer build, letting these pets just absolutely do work. My goodness. Demonic commander build, bro. He just left those pets on a warlock and just AFK'd. He was like, alright, I'm putting my pets on you. And BC was like, I'm gonna put my pets on you. And we're gonna see whose pets are better.